So that was a very compelling argument to a lot of people where, hey, why are you buying, analog gold when you could buy digital gold? This is the new gold. And look, the new gold is up 10x. And your old-fashioned gold hasn't done anything. And so a lot of people that might have bought gold in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024 even, bought Bitcoin instead.
Yeah.
Now, after a couple of years where, Bitcoin really hasn't gone anywhere and gold is doubled, more than doubled, and silver's more than doubled, I think a lot of people who made the switch out of gold or silver into Bitcoin are regretting that.
A longtime critic of speculative manias recently revisited the debate over so-called digital gold versus physical precious metals. For years, investors were told that Bitcoin was the modern replacement for gold, faster, more brilliant, and destined to outperform what some dismissed as an outdated store of value. The argument sounded compelling, especially when crypto prices surged and metals appeared stagnant. But the last few years have flipped that narrative. While Bitcoin struggled through long periods of stagnation and volatility, gold quietly advanced and ultimately more than doubled. Silver went even further, delivering outsized gains as monetary and industrial demand tightened simultaneously. Many investors who abandoned gold and silver in favor of crypto during the 2019 and 2022 window are now reassessing that decision. The takeaway is not ideological. It's practical. Assets with centuries of monetary history are once again doing what they were designed to do when confidence in financial systems erodes. If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share it with fellow investors who follow gold and silver, and subscribe so you don't miss the next big update.
I mean, at the rate we're going, 70 would be very realistic for this year. We're only $3.50 away from 70. But so for silver to go from 70 to 100, that's not even that big a gain. I mean, it's already up more than double this year. And so I think $100 is a very realistic target for silver in 2026. It could end up being, quite a bit north of 100. I doubt we get all the way up to 200, but that's, certainly it's in the realm of possibility, but I don't want to forecast that. But I'm comfortable with a forecast of 100. And I think gold will at least go to 5,000. Right now it's, 4,300. So 5,000 at a minimum. But I think, if silver's at 100, gold could easily be at 6,000, Well, I mean, surprised might not be the word. I mean, obviously, I didn't know for a fact that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not a shock to me that it is, because I did, as you pointed out, I did say that once we got above 50, which I thought was significant overhead resistance going back to 1980, that there'd be no more resistance and that would be just a big move up. And so I expected a big move. I would say that the move that we've had in the time frame that we've had it is more than I would have, guessed. But I'm not shocked that it's happening. I mean, what's really a bigger shock to me was that it took so long. Because for years I was, telling people buy silver. I can't understand why it's so cheap. Gold kept going up, and silver didn't go anywhere. And my main explanation was, well, it's the central banks, right? They don't buy silver, they buy gold. And so there really wasn't the buying. And so I don't know where the buying came from, to finally move silver. I don't think it was central banks. I think it was in private demand, but it finally showed up. I mean, people, I guess, looked at how cheap silver was and decided to buy it. But there wasn't that much of it for sale. That was part of the problem. So the price went up. And now that the price is going up, I think it's attracting more buying. In fact, gold has gone sideways. Gold hasn't made a new high in weeks, maybe a month. I forget when gold made its high. But silver just keeps going up and up, making new highs. And gold just goes sideways. But gold is going sideways, at 4,200, 4,300. That is a great price. And in fact, these gold and silver mining stocks, to me, even though, they've doubled, tripled, some quadrupled on the year, they're still very cheap. In fact, there aren't even any silver stocks that I look at that have made a new high today, even though you have this huge breakout new high in the price of silver. So, and gold stocks, are going sideways too. So we need to see another big move up in the miners. And it doesn't really matter what happens in gold and silver. The prices are already high enough that these stocks should be much higher. But every time there's a pullback, the investors get nervous and they dump these stocks without even paying attention to the fact that even if the metal pulls back, where they're pulling back to is still much higher than what's priced into these stocks. And the earnings that these companies are going to be reporting next year are just going to blow away what any analysts have forecast that they would earn. And so they're going to have to move a lot. Yeah, well, look, we know that the retail investor has been absent from this market for years. Not that there has been no retail participation, but that it's been minimal compared to, what it should be or what the retail investor, is doing instead. And one of the big distractions has been Bitcoin because of the way it's been marketed as digital gold, as an alternative to gold, as something that is superior to gold, that is gold only better, gold 2.0. Given the way it's been marketed and given the relative returns. Because remember, when Bitcoin first came on the scene, that's when gold really peaked out. It started around 2011 when gold was at 1900. The public didn't really start looking at it until 2017, and then more so, during the pandemic and 2000. But during that period of time, gold didn't go anywhere. Just went sideways, but Bitcoin went way up. And so that was a very compelling argument to a lot of people where, hey, why are you buying, analog gold when you can buy digital gold? This is the new gold. And look, the new gold is up 10x and your old fashioned gold hasn't done anything. And so a lot of people that might have bought gold in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024 even, bought Bitcoin instead.
Yeah.
Now, after a couple of years where, Bitcoin really hasn't gone anywhere and gold has doubled, more than doubled and silver's more than doubled, I think a lot of people who made the switch out of gold or silver into Bitcoin are regretting that. Because, Bitcoin is down more than 40% priced in gold. It's down, I haven't checked, it's well over 50% priced in silver since it's peaked.
Yeah.
At one point, I think earlier in the year, Bitcoin actually had a higher market cap than silver. And that was probably right near the peak where you could have sold all your Bitcoin and bought silver. But I think that a lot of people who got frustrated and left gold or silver for Bitcoin are gonna come back. They're gonna go back to gold and silver. Now they're gonna take a hit in doing that, right? They're not going to be able to buy back nearly as much gold and silver as they sold. But I think they're going to make the switch.
A veteran market commentator explains that silver's recent surge is not only logical but long overdue. With prices already near the high $60s, a move towards $70 this year looks entirely realistic. From there, a rise toward $100 in 2026 is not a stretch at all, especially given how far silver has already moved. Gold, meanwhile, holding firm around the low $4,000s after a historic run, still has room to climb toward $5,000 and potentially higher if silver continues to lead. What stands out is not just price action but rotation. Gold is consolidating at elevated levels while silver keeps making new highs, signaling shifting momentum. Mining stocks, despite substantial gains, remain undervalued relative to metal prices and future earnings. As investors begin rotating back from speculative alternatives into tangible assets, the next phase of this move may only be getting started. Let's get into the interview.
They rarely mention gold and silver. I'm watching CNBC this morning, and silver's up like $2.50, right? It's over $65. Now it's over $66. This is a huge move. It's up 3%, since yesterday. And they don't mention it. They don't mention gold. But they do mention Bitcoin. They put Bitcoin up on the screen and they say, oh, it's down 1%. Okay. It's like that's all that exists. They'll mention the NASDAQ and then they'll mention Bitcoin and some other cryptos, Ether or Solana. Like that's like all their audience cares about. Now, maybe they know their audience. Maybe the only people other than me who watch CNBC are people who own AI stocks and Bitcoin. Because anybody who owns any legitimate investments doesn't watch. Yeah, is gold or silver? Look, I've been telling people to focus on silver more than gold ever since gold got over 3,000 and silver was still like $30, right? I was like, that's 100 to 1. But now it's more like 65 to 1. So I still think we're going up to 50 to 1. But it's more balanced now, in my opinion, because now I think gold's getting ready for a move because gold's kind of gone sideways for a while.
Yeah.
So I think we could see a move in gold. But I really have been telling people to favor the miners, and and now they've had a big year. I was very, very big on the miners. In fact, I put out a special report in March of this year called "The Best Way to Buy Gold," and it was buying mining stocks, and that was a very well typed special report because since then the miners have dramatically outperformed gold and silver. Right, they've just done incredibly well, but I still think they're cheap. I still think you make more money buying mining stocks than you buying physical gold and silver, although you take on more risk, right? Yeah. So that's the trade-off, right? I don't see a lot of downside risk in gold and silver, even though they've gone up a lot. I don't think silver is really going back below 50. So if you buy it at 65, you got about $15 of downside, but you still have hundreds of dollars of upside as far as I'm concerned. Gold, I don't think gold's going to go much below 4,000, maybe 3,900, So I don't think there's a lot of downside, in gold. But, mining stocks are very volatile. I mean, they could go down a lot, even if the price of gold doesn't. That's just how they trade. The whole debate was supposed to be Bitcoin versus tokenized gold. So a kilo bar of gold was not even relevant to what we were supposed to discuss. But if you're dealing in tokenized gold, it's just as easy to verify as Bitcoin because they work on the same principle where there's a blockchain. And, if you get tokenized gold delivered, then it's legit, right? Immediately what it is. But as far as using physical gold as a medium of exchange, nobody is going to use just a kilo bar of gold. I mean, that gold's bar is worth over $100,000. I mean, how am I going to, buy stuff with that, right? I mean, number one. So if I was going to use gold as a medium of exchange, I would be using coins, right? And, they would be much more easily recognizable to the naked eye. And, if they were minted by a mint that I knew of and you could look at it and look at the ridges on the sides and, you could drop it on the ground and, on the table and listen to the sound and compare it to the one you already have. And it's pretty much the same thing. You would be able to know. But nobody, is going to be handed a bar that, barely has any markings on it that was kind of made by a private, mint, or not even a mint, whatever, fabricated, and it just has a weight on it. How would I know if it's legitimate? I mean, I'm sure it would have some gold in it, but I don't know if it has all the gold that it claims. I don't know, and especially when he's asking me like that, I'm thinking, what is it not? Is there something wrong here? He's trying to get me to say it's real gold and say, he's got some tungsten in it or something. I don't know, but the thing is, the Bitcoin community is so desperate to try to show that I lost the debate and that CZ won it, that's what they're going to play up. They're going to play that up as if it somehow invalidates gold and proves that Bitcoin is superior to gold, because I can't know for sure whether that big bar is actual gold or not, But if we're using tokenized gold, well, then of course we know. And but the main difference between tokenized gold and Bitcoin is tokenized gold is actually digital gold. It represents ownership of real gold. Bitcoin represents ownership of nothing. So when you validate Bitcoin, you validate nothing. When you validate tokenized gold, you validate something.
A seasoned market observer points out the growing disconnect between price reality and media attention. Silver, surging past the mid-$60s with multi-% daily gains, barely registers on financial television, while minor moves in crypto dominate headlines. That silence matters because it signals how under-owned and under-discussed precious metals still are. The gold-silver ratio has compressed meaningfully but remains far from historical norms, suggesting more work ahead for silver and a renewed move in gold after a long consolidation. He also stresses that while physical metals offer asymmetric upside with limited downside, The real leverage remains in mining stocks. Despite a strong year, miners still lag what current metal prices imply for future earnings. Volatility is the trade-off, but the risk-reward remains compelling. As narratives shift away from digital substitutes back toward tangible value, this quiet phase may be setting the stage for the next leg higher. If this gave you value, smash that like button, share it with those paying attention, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay alert, stay prepared, and keep stacking tangible assets.